Mga katropa, samahan kami sa loob ng isang oras sa pagtalakay sa asenso, tagumpay, hinagpis, tuwa, ilan lamang sa pagsasarawan ng mga kapatid nating overseas Filipino workers. Dito lamang sa palatuntunang Buhay OFW ngayon. Siyensya, teknolohiya at iba pa. Tumutok at matuto dito lamang sa inyong himpilan ng Katropa Radio, DWWD, Buhay OFW ngayon. Siyensya, teknolohiya at iba pa.
She took her prawns to Japan and charmed new customers.
When I saw this opportunity and I knew that the market was there, I just gave it my commitment, you know. Nothing would stop me from improving it day by day, you know. First, how to make them accept it. Now I have them accepting it. I brought them over the Philippines. I showed them my prawns. They saw how hygienic I process my prawns. They saw how fast I get the prawns from the ponds and freeze them, so that it arrived in the same state as if they were just frozen live.
But it was your idea to bring the Japanese customers over here.
That's the best way, you know. I brought them to the Philippines. I showed them how beautiful our country is, how hospitable our people could be, and we showed them the whole thing, you know. It wasn't a stage managed thing. We just showed them what's natural to the Philippines. And after 2 or 3 trips, they were sold on the idea. They said, okay, we will import any quantity that you will process and export. So from that, it became a world commodity.
Mrs. Lim's persuasiveness landed the first Filipino black tiger prawn contracts. Since then, the family business has been expanding. Favoritism and corruption is endemic in the Philippines, and to avoid being just part of the system, a particular brand of determination is necessary.
Our philosophy in our business is that we don't want to be involved in anything that has politics in it. We do not have now with politicians. We stay clear from them. And we believe that business and politics, like oil and water, should never mix. We just stick to our business. And we concentrate there. And we don't ask any favor. We don't go getting any concession. We don't ask for something that is a privileged business. So we are in a business that is open to one and all.
The feudal connections between poor communities in the countryside and the world of business are relationships Mrs. Lim has grown up with. She was born in Leyte province, which was occupied by the Japanese in the Second World War and liberated by the Americans.
Unfortunately, from 1976 until 1983, you know, when the business, the economy collapsed, there was a sliding back. There was corruption, there was the return to the old ways, there was the concession, franchising, and dole-outs, loans were being abused, and all those things. I think it's a shame. I really, when I think back, the country could have prospered by leaps and bounds.
One of the many favorable deals Elena Lim negotiated was with a South Korean electronics company. This firm in Manila, part of Mrs. Lim's Solid Corporation, makes plastic moldings for television sets. These are assembled in another of her factories in the Philippines, mostly from imported parts. The Koreans, we were told, get several advantages from the arrangement, notably lower costs.
Yeah, and as we go on, we are going to substitute for local parts. That's the reason why we are encouraging people to go into upstream production of more local components. And once it becomes economically viable, then I'm sure it will even lower the cost of the food.
The truth, the Koreans have this arrangement with you simply because you're cheap assembly part.
No, it's more than that. It is really putting this place also to enhance the export overseas because they're exporting in Korea. And if they put plants elsewhere and improve their exports, in a way it's indirect export for them.
A most significant deal has been with Sony. Although the Japanese company usually supervises local plants, Mrs. Lim's workers are trusted to get on with it themselves.
After 7-8 years, they saw how well the company factory was being run. They saw how committed we all were, and they wanted to treat us with equal respect, you know.
Mrs. Lim's arrangement with Sony is unique, although how she managed to negotiate an agreement where the Japanese entrusted her with the reputation of their assembled products is still not clear. Sony themselves confirmed to us that the Sony Corporation is the sole distributor of its goods in the Philippines, and said that given the nature of their agreement, it was unnecessary for them to monitor the Sony Corporation's operations.
Sony entrusted us the manufacture of the products for our domestic requirement and the export volume that we were making on our own capability. I think this only proves that Filipinos really have an ability to put a processing plant there because I felt that sugar was depressed and I would like to bring my bronze there to be exported from that area. When I was applying for the permit, the paperwork was so long that I couldn't move. So finally, I went to see the top man and I talked to him. He cut all the paperwork and approved it in a jiffy.
Her latest enterprise, a car importing venture, has illustrated her skills in dealing with bureaucracy and the competition. The idea is that the cars come from Korea in kit form and are assembled in Manila. A few almost finished models have been allowed in, on the understanding that this will help to start a local car factory. Mrs. Lim's car venture may eventually duplicate what is already happening to her vans. Kits imported to the Philippines are being assembled here, although the work is relatively slow and there's little automation. Their future depends on Mrs. Lim's ability to carry on outwitting her rivals and making the best of the rules. In her business career, she's long been skilled at cutting red tape and looking for weaknesses in the competition. Her ability to do this is still a source of personal satisfaction.
I find out what's the soft spot. You know, I find out what's the flow. And I look at the opportunity there and I think, oh, you know, the challenge is, can you do something that will be good for the consumer? That's the challenge. It's that, will you do something because you are introducing something that the consumer doesn't need? No, mine is different. I always look at something, would the consumer want this? Would it give a better choice, a wider choice? Would it enhance real trade? So, I guess I do it the hard way. You know, prawns, nobody was doing it. I tried it and it worked. Cars, it was a closed monopoly. It was impossible to fight these three giants. And the government was in the side of the three giants.
How do you find the soft spot in the competition?
When I hear people complain, like in the car, a lot of people were complaining, how come we have to pay this kind of price? And then the quantity is limited. How come we have to pay some extra money in order to get the car that we need? Those are the soft spots. They're the flaws in the system. So I said, it's not right. And I'm not even in the car industry. I just saw the opening. It's not right. Somebody has to correct the flow. So I tried to do with it.
Every morning, before the guard opens the gate to her protected compound, Eleanor Lim insists on negotiating the spikes on the top for her morning exercise. It symbolises everything she's achieved, a lesson in what can be done with enthusiasm, energy and a determination to be different.
Commitment and unity. We only knew one direction, and that is forward. We have had our shares of setbacks and rebuffs, but our strength was that we knew how to stand up again. Our history is full of products and services, but they are only expressions of how much we love our country and wanted to serve our fellow Filipinos. We began working with products that would enable our fellow Filipinos to build better livelihoods and happier lives. We were thankful that our products helped save lives when disasters struck. Our country was growing, and we wanted to support the building of a strong Philippine industry. We competed to give the best industrial products to growing Filipino businesses. We proved that Filipino management and technical expertise was world-class, and the world agreed. We employed only Filipinos to manufacture, service, and market international electronics brands for local and even export markets. We believe and invested in the world-class Filipino. We found new opportunities to build livelihood and employment for thousands of Filipinos in the countryside. We were proud to present to international markets our packaged seafoods products and establish our country's world-class quality capabilities. But we were most proud to bring back the dignity of honest labor to so many. Our economy grew, and Filipinos needed affordable cars. We persevered to change old policies and build efficient operations that would give Filipinos a real practical choice. We succeeded in opening the Philippine car market so that more people could have the affordable transportation they needed. We were not afraid of investing in industrial and residential facilities because we always believed in the Filipino. In some of the most difficult political periods, and in the wake of some of the worst natural disasters, we went ahead and built successful industrial operations. One of them actually getting to export its total production. Here and abroad, we are still making sure that Filipinos have places to live and work where the environment is protected. New technologies were developing so fast, and we felt we had an opportunity to bring Filipinos into a new era of convergence with
parang hindi, siguro nabigla kasi from offstage. One more time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Brown and proud. Okay, thank you and welcome to coming tonight for a very special program that we have for you. And it's called Voice Finder. Medyo iba mo yung take natin ngayon. This is the start of a very different treatment of how we are going to start training people and sharing the information and the good news about Brown and Proud. Bakit po Voice Finder? Throughout lahat ng buhay natin po, starting pag-baby, ang unang-unang hinahanap ng tao ay boses. Before a baby can see, bago makita yung baby, ang hinahanap niya yung voice ng nanay, yung voice ng tatay, yung voice ng mga magkapatid. Throughout life, you will discover that the most important thing that decides kung anong mangyayari sa buhay mo ay anong boses ang naririnig mo and what kind of voice do you follow. May choice po tayo that defines your life. If you listen to a negative voice, your life becomes negative. If you listen to a positive voice, your life becomes positive. Voice defines, the voice you follow is the voice that determines what kind of life you have. Hindi po ba? So now, tonight, we're going to talk about voice finder. Not only about the voice you follow, but the voice that you make for yourself. Anong boses niyo po? Anong voice, what kind of voice will you use to inspire yung mga kasama mo, yung mga pamilya mo, and even what kind of business you're going to have? Ano pong livelihood niyo? Today, I'm very happy to inform you na napaka-blessed po tayo ngayon because we're going to have the man behind Brown and Proud, the man behind my phone, the man behind even before a lot of other projects, who is now going to bring us into his world of finding your voice, inspired by his own mom, Elena Lim. Without further ado, and of course, I'd like to also acknowledge his father is here, Mr. Joseph Lim as well, coming from So this couple spent their lives finding their voice to build their businesses, and David has found it fit to follow in their footsteps to share with you tonight. Paano po ba yun? How to find your voice, how to express who you are in the work that you do. Without further ado, let us greet him with a warm round of applause, Mr. David Lim.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is very non-traditional. I'm going to break all the rules that multi-level marketing has taught you, right? Most of you here are multi-level people, and normally multi-level people are always looking for a comp plan. What's the comp plan? What's the comp plan? Not even understanding what the company stands for. Today I will share with you. Earlier you saw how the video was recorded by BBC. This was almost 30 years ago when my mother was interviewed by BBC. At that particular time, there was no cable, I remember. It was my friend, my mom's friend, Mr. Vandenberg, who called me all the way from Belgium, telling me that, hey, I saw your mom on BBC. I was so excited, but I couldn't watch it. So at least I got a tape, of the interview. And all of you are so privileged to watch that tape. We will keep on sharing that tape on the internet, right? For me, what is important, everybody would ask us, bakit? Why are we doing MLM? It's practically one of the dirtiest words in business, especially in the Philippines, right? When they know that you are in the world of MLM or networking, it's almost like you have leprosy, hindi ba? Na hindi ka lalapitan, no? So that's why you see each other. Oh, ikaw na naman nandito, hindi ba? So for me, I'd like to change that. I'd like to draw the line so clear that you have to take sides. Before I show you a comp plan, you have to know, right? MLM, I hate it for what it stands here in the Philippines. But if you look at the video, there was one thing very relevant my mom said. When BBC asked, what kind of business, how do you know what kind of business to enter? She said, I look for the soft spot. And later on, the BBC reporter was asking her again, what's that soft spot? She said, I listen to complain. The soft spot is basically when people complain. When people complained that it was so expensive to own a car, she fought hard for more than 2.5 years to fight for the government to allow her to bring in Kia. And that was a people's car. So there was a lot of courage. So here I'm asking you to basically come out. You're joining a company that practically grew on courage. My father, my mother, both their parents came from China. Almost 100 years ago. Did nothing but only carrying with them a courage. And looking for a new place where they can find decent living so that they can send money home. No. They're practically first generation OFW. And we have so many of that now here. No. And this country gave us everything. Through hard work, the third generation I have now, I have the privilege of carrying on the legacy. And the legacy is pretty big, tall order from my side, you know. It's 70 years of a publicly listed company entering into world of MLMs, right? And maybe in your heart you know what it is, right? In your heart you were conditioned to move on, right? To move on and to sell, to practically be brainwashed, to selling something that maybe you don't believe in. To us that is never going to happen, right? If you're selling coffee, for example, that they claim to have 150 ingredients in a particular coffee, I don't think there's any coffee left, right? So, you're part of the victim. You're a victim. A lot of time, these companies failed you, no? But you keep on going. As they say, once MLM or multi-level marketing is in your blood, you'll forever be a multi-level marketer. So here, these are the 5 basic principles. If you look at the solid, our logo consists of 5 hearts intertwined. Basically, these are the things that has built us. No? Integrity, perseverance, passion, harmony, creativity. These are beautiful words, but very hard to pursue. Takes a lot of discipline. And especially now, multi-level, right? Is so powerful that you could literally sell anything. Convince anyone to buy a bar of soap for 500 pesos, right? Where maybe their cost is 25 pesos. In our world, that will never happen. No. And this is the world that you are entering. So again, I said that the most important thing my parents has taught us is our self-worth. At the end of the day, it's your name, it's your family's name that is at stake. More than Brown and Proud, right? At the end of the day, you have children, you have grandchildren. And the minute you destroy that name, no, it's going to take 3 generations for them to correct it. So here today, I would like to show you what is our commitment to the Filipino. No? We're committed to give them the best networking company in the world, not in the Philippines. Again, we're global. So, you will understand as we move forward our product philosophy, right? What kind of products we will make. Again, you'll not hear us overclaiming products. The whole world of MLM is so weak in imagination that they have to tell you that the multivitamins you're buying, that is 100 ingredients, going to make you any healthier. And just because the person on top is a doctor, it doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, you're just selling the profit. Again, this will never happen in our world. I'm not going to follow. And you as our leader has to know how to discern. No. You cannot have the best of two worlds. You cannot have the best of Brown and Proud. Here, represent the company, and on the other hand, selling coffees for 50 pesos per pack, right? If Nestle and all these great brands can sell coffee, their premium coffee is 20 pesos, and you're selling double of that or even 10 times of that, you know you're a fraud, right? You know you're only selling it because you have convinced someone that money is what they are earning, not the product. I have my doubts that they're even drinking their coffee, right? I have my doubts. I know someone here who told me that he has these vitamins that is supposed to open up, dilate all your arteries so that you can breathe better. Sabi niya, punong-puno na daw bahay na yun. Even the children are playing it, throwing it to the neighbors. I can see some of you smiling here. Mukhang naloko rin kayo pagbenta ng mga produktong gano'n. Don't do that. Don't do that to our fellow Filipino. That's wrong, right? That's wrong. So, I said, if there are 10 million multi-level marketing people here, and at the end of the day, I only get 500,000 to join me, I wonder. Because this 500,000 people is going to be selling to the non-believers of the MLM. Of products that are practically either overspec or overpriced, or both. Sometimes the product might be good, I might say, right? But if you're overpriced, then they're not buying the product. They're buying practically the earnings. And they said MLM is good because we're turning the advertising budget of, let's say, a company like Nestle into earnings. But that's not true. If Safeguard is being sold for 50,000 and you're selling soap at 500 peso, that is also already, again, kung tawag nila yata, fake, no? So, I think being Brown and Proud, like I've always kept on reminding, it's not a brand. It's a commitment as a Filipino, no? To keep that as a real commitment that everything we do, from your personal life to selling the product that we are doing, that we have to be proud of it. I've not seen a brand, actually I've not seen a brand come out of multi-level marketing, right? There's a product called C224 or something like that that sells for 40 million pesos a day. The whole world doesn't even know it, right? I think Brown and Proud is about building brands. It's about building brands. Filipinos maybe are one of the most creative people in the world. My parents has always taught me and mentioned that if there is one thing that you can mortgage of the Filipino, it's their creativity. Right? We're so creative that even MLM, we can tear it apart. You know? Sobrang creative in the wrong way. I think we have to start building. No? Our country needs, you have seen in the short video that my mom built, it's always about giving dignity, giving opportunity, fair trade. And she's always found a voice for it. And that's why I call this event the Voice Finder, because I want all of you to be like her, to be proud to be not afraid to say what's wrong, right? And rather conforming to what is wrong. I think that is wrong. No. That's why we have put in a lot of emphasis on education. Some people are asking, why do we need to put education and master class in the whole package of the movement? We just want to sell, we just want to make money. Unfortunately, that's not our vision. So you have to know what our vision is. Today, again, I just want to share with you the next 5 weeks, 4 weeks, I'm going to stand here every Wednesday talking to you about the same thing. We're here to build brands. The platform that we build is not going to be the same platform as other MLMs have, where it's exclusive to them. That's why we're teaching you branding, entrepreneurial branding. We're teaching you the other aspect of how do you want your own company. I don't want you to be forever a dealer. No? You have your own dreams. Maybe Brown and Proud can be an avenue for you to generate capital. But eventually, you have to build your own brands. Or you have to build the platform for your brand, which is your family, your next generation, maybe your kids can build brand. This is so important for us. We might not be government, but we have enough power. You have seen how my dad and mom, without connection, was able to build what they call an empire, which we call a small business, right? And all of you can be the same. All of you can be the same. You know, through hard work, through getting yourself to change your mindset. I've said this over and over at times. A lot of time it leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Because I've always criticized the Spaniards for bringing us, making us think that we were designed by the Spanish to be slaves. We were designed from day one that you are not supposed to answer back, right? That you cannot be more than just doing the normal thing and that nothing great. Kaya for us, it's so easy to embrace anything that is not Filipino. Filipino, you will only support it if it's small ticket items. If it is maybe a banana chip, it's maybe chicharon. I ask you to pay 15,000 for a Filipino brand phone. You probably have to think a long time before you put out your money on a Filipino brand. And this is a movement for us to help Filipino. I remember a long time ago, my father, I was going to Europe to buy some HMI lights. We're into broadcasting. HMI lights are lights that are very cool. So you can shoot in the studio even with the lights on and the light will not make you sweat. My father said, why don't you check China? Because at that time it was Italy. True enough, I went to China and I found those lights. But the big difference with the Italian-made HMI lights, one person can carry 3 lamps. They were so well designed. But I remember what my dad said, buy from China. If you don't buy from China, they will never be like the Italians. 25 years later, the same company I remember where I bought these heavy HMI lights where it takes 2 persons to carry 1 light, right? But anyway, the consumer will not know. Kasi hindi mo naman kita yung mga grips na nagke-carry, nagse-set up. 20 years after, the Italian companies are now buying from China. Again, I see that as something that we could do. If you don't start helping Filipino brands, they will never be world-class. They'll never be world-class. will forever be just slave to buying products that is made by another country. We have to all invest in our brand, which is brand Pilipinas, right? We're a small group here. But this small group, with your power, and you know networking, no? It's about the power building brand, not the power they taught you, which is power, 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 right? Open-minded pa kayo, right? So, laugh at yourself because we're all guilty here. You know? And I don't want my company to be built the same way. Everything that they're doing, I will not do. You will not see a brown and proud mover in McDonald's doing circles, and then one eye is looking at the security guard because you haven't paid for your coffee yet, right? So that's not brown and proud, right? That's branding. That's branding. That's one thing I've learned from the history of being with Sony, with Iowa, with Samsung. These people know branding, and you have to learn branding. And it all starts from you, right? You want ba to be a branding na supporter ka of a Korean brand? Siyempre, you want to be, as a Filipino, you want to be proud of a Filipino brand. No?
Yes.
That is very important. No? That is brand Pilipinas. So what we're building is not networker. I don't need networkers, right? I need warriors that are going to go out there, support. No? We're now looking at launching what we call Barco 1000. Barco is a boat, right? Barco. No? When we're so used to people invading us that we've forgotten that maybe we can also invade other countries. So the Barco 1000 is going to be 1,000 startup companies per year. That should be our target. These 1,000 startup per year is going to fuel basically our Barco, which is the brown and proud e-commerce platform. We will be an e-commerce platform. We are invaded daily now by Alibaba, Lazada, and all the online companies. But all of them are only selling you products. It still is pending, right? So I was with the secretary of BPI, and in 10 minutes he saw where we're going. He said, "You mean, David, we're building the biggest online multi-level marketing company." Why multi-level marketing company? Again, I just mentioned that hardwired na kayo, brainwash na kayo, basta puti, maganda, right? Gawa ng ibang bayan, maganda. That means my cost to winning you back, which in marketing we call my acquisition cost of getting a Filipino to start loving a Filipino product is more expensive. What is the acquisition cost of Globe to get you? Only 40,000 for an iPhone, right? Ang mura mo naman, nabili ka ng agad ng Globe para dahil gusto mo yung iPhone. But for me, to give you a beautiful product, I have to let you earn potentially $1 million para mahawakan mo lang at for you to even try. Na pinahirapan mo pa ang Pinoy company na kailangan, bayaran mo ako 1 million bago ako gagamit ng isang Filipino-made phone. Right? Think about that. Think about that. Is that being a Filipino? No? Or are we just merely lip servicing? Na puros lip service, mahal kong bayan, but when push comes to shove, you're never there. Yeah, you're never there. This is what Brown and Proud is all about. When you join, I don't want you to look at the contract. Sanay kayo sa code lang. Gusto ko tingnan mo lang ang puso ng Brown and Proud. Kaya mo ba to live that kind of life? Is that the kind of commitment you're going to make? If not, please don't try. You'll be disappointed, right? For sure, you'll be disappointed. And I'd rather you be disappointed right now than later. Na bakit yung iba ang laki ng payout? No? Oh, that's why walang tumatagal ng MLM eh. Iba, meron, pero again, that's more of a phenomenon that they survive. Selling products that are overpriced and over specs, hindi ba? Oh, marami yan, marami. Yung mga style na dinaanan nyo, merong hijacking, you know hijacking? You know hijacking, what hijacking is? You call someone and say, hey, I have a date for you, for us. Come here, you know, to this place. You know, these two girls are high class. So bring 7,000 pesos with you. By the time you get there, you're in McDonald's, and these two pretty girls are already hijacking you to join their movement. That's not proud. You cannot be proud doing that. Isipin nyo, you know. Kaya that is very important. This today message and continuously, we are cleaning. We want only the best of the best. That's why we call it Barco. It's the modern Noah's Ark. Only the best of the best will ride in that boat, and we will try to promote it. So all of us na wala sa barko, we have a role. You have the role to tell all your relatives in Hong Kong, in Dubai, that this is the movement for the Filipinos. That let's all support it. No? If we don't support it, we'll never be able to build brands. And I think it's a shame with the way God designed us to be so creative, and then we will not be able to develop even a brand. That's really embarrassing, right? I'm sure you could see on China right now, there's this singing contest where there is KC Tandingan that is just breaking borders, no? Putting so much pride in the Filipino. Di ba? Dapat ganun tayo, no? Di ba? How long have you been doing multi-level? And all of the promise of wealth is never there. Right? It's always with the big boss lang. Silang naka-Lamborghini. No? Sila naka-Ferrari. Habang kayo, kung saan-saan kayo tumatakbo, hirap pa rin. Hindi ba? It's not easy, right? It's not easy because the majority of the Filipinos are not behind you. The 90 million, let's say sabihin mo 10 million MLMers, the 90 million are not there. They're not part of the movement in building brands. Strategically, even what I'm telling you makes sense. I'm not going to go after the 10 million MLMers that will refuse to change. My dream is to convince the 90 million that Filipinos can make good brands, and they are going to be part of this journey, this beautiful journey. No. So I think it's time for us to start thinking big, that we can invade the world. We have the right engine. I think multi-level marketing is probably one of the most beautiful, engine of distribution. Unfortunately, it went to the wrong hands. That's why I said, if we're going to continue this, we need all your support. We need all your support to help us build together one of the most respected multi-level marketing company in the world. With China now, as open as they are, right, they can be a partner. Like iPhone, for example, that is single screw of iPhone came from America. Because it's no longer about hardware. Hardware is everywhere. The big thing is about the hardware. Let's build the hardware into the products that we will build in collaboration with the best manufacturers of the world, whether it be China, Japan, Korea, whoever. No? That's why I'm bringing you to China, right? The first team is going to China. First team, I think the last time already 50 qualified to go to China. These people have already built 100 members or enrollees under them. All I want them to see is the power of the next most powerful nation, or maybe becomes the most powerful nation in the world soon, is that let's partner with them. Let's not worry about politics. Let's worry about building brands. And they can get us to the next level, I'm sure. Right? Without China, there will be no my phone. Right? I remember one time Vice President Binay said, "Why are you not producing your phones in the Philippines?" Of course, first things I have to tell him is that even iPhone does it, and they're the biggest brand in the world, right? And I said, if I try to make the phones here by myself, we will never have the scale to compete in terms of pricing. Maybe if we build the market so big, and thanks to internet, that we can now cross borders so easy, you know, that we can now build a brand that is global. When you have a global brand, that is the time you can bring manufacturer to your own country. No? Of course, that's an ultimate dream. But I still have my doubts, right? Because I said, if you look at my dad's factory there, these Chinese are designed like robots. When they sit down, they don't talk, they don't do anything, they go to the toilet, it's all at the same time. Here, we also run 7 factories before. When they sit down, the first thing, you see them chatting already. No? Napanood mo ba si Probinsyano kagabi? Grabe si Aliana, no? Sumasama na sa iba, right? So, again, we're so beautiful, but maybe not wired to be in the world of manufacturing. We have our strength, and I hope we find it. Creativity is one. You know, again, earlier I mentioned already about Barco. No? Next week, I hope a lot of you can attend. We will have our first tech summit called Hack to the Future. We'll have people talking VR. We'll have an expert that is helping us design our wallet using blockchain, right? Using blockchain as a means of securing our individual security. No? Maybe we can come up with our own coins, no? Our own. I don't know that world, but this guy, I have to thank the girlfriend, because if not for the girlfriend, he'll never be in the Philippines. He's a Filipino, American, no? But when he came here for a visit, he fell in love with a Filipina. Next thing you know, he has made Philippines his home. He designed the first smart contract using blockchain 3 years before the Bitcoin technology was published. That's how great Filipinos are, right? You don't know, right? And you will hear his talk. His name is Elmer Robles, and you have to know. You know, Elmer Robles, right? Yan ang, I don't know that world, I just sit there and I pretend to understand, right? Pero some of my people understand, no? Oh. But definitely I will try to understand, no? So again, the normal CEOs, I'd like to change, no? Again, CEO, anong CEO? I want to talk to you about about how you turn. Just put to heart what is the philosophy of the company. A lot of time I talk to MLMers. Before even looking at the comp plan, they like the vision. I'll sign up, right? I'll sign up because they want to be part of the change. And that is so important. Education is there, opportunity, innovative products, no? Take to heart what I'm telling you. Then you will be more believable than memorizing a piece of paper telling you this is the way you earn, which you will have to do. I think the Rexer said is going to create now the whole system into a graphical form so that for those who do not understand, they can keep on going back and look at how they are going to earn. No? But remember, that is only one part of the whole Brown Bayanihan system. Bayanihan system, we have to really help each other. This is not going to work. At least you have to give it to me as a crazy guy that's willing to think that it's going to work. That's why when in our recent graduation, boy, I had to do this 200 times. I said, whoever thought of that, I'm gonna kill, right? You know, all these power, you know, take it out. We don't need those power, those signs. I said, if you want to do a sign, do a wacky sign. Because at least they'll know this bunch of people are crazy enough that they think they can change this world to be better, right? Hindi ba mag-wacky ka na lang? Ay sabi, no? Start, and you are the best people to convince people because you were part of the victims. Yan, dinaanan nyo yan. Lahat ng power, dinaan mo. Wala pa rin power. No? No? So again, I'd like to thank you. Later on, I think who's going to do the comp plan? Archie. No? So, you do the boring stuff. No? But remember what I tell you. This is tape. We can share it with you. Memorize. No? Don't memorize. Put it in your heart. Sino tayo? Hindi kami ganun. No? Hindi kami nanloloko. Right? Hindi kami nang gagancho. Hindi wala sa kultura namin na turuan isang bata na mali, na nagiging tama lang dahil nabubulag kayo sa pera. No? So please learn how to discern. All of you are very intelligent. I said this goes also to us as the brand. Because the temptation of, wow, nauto naman natin itong mga tao, dagdagan na lang natin 10 times more ang value. You know, you'll be surprised. They said we can sell anything under the sun. Because ang binibenta mo, promise or money. No? I hope we change all that. And that is our commitment that when we join our movement, hindi namin kayo papahiyain. We will be here, we will support you. Let's try to build the whole movement of building Pinoy brands. Now, one day pag sinabi, brand Pilipinas, no, huwag niyo iiputol, sabi ni mama ko, bakit ang Pinoy mahilig na Pinoy, Pinas? Ay, hindi nila masabi yung Pilipinas, right? Hindi ba? Hindi ba mas proud pag sinabi mo Pilipinas kaysa Pinas Tigas or something like that, whatever, you know? That is also something that says about our culture. So respect our country at the utmost, respect your own brand, no, look at the system, no, and definitely we will keep on supporting you with beautiful products, and you'll be trained how to use the internet. Again, I notice a lot of you are still in the old world of face-to-face. I understand there will be a period of evolution. You know, right? It will, some people have to do that. That maybe the 90% that hates MLM are already doing online. No? Again, don't trap yourself into that particular world. No? Huwag kayong mag-away. No? Dahil may 90 million doon. Right? Away-away kayo, naririnig mo. Akin leader ito, akin leader ito. Hindi ba? Boy, sabi ko, hindi ba? They're not our life. Our life, our challenge is to make 90% of the Filipinos who hate that system love us for why we are fighting what is right. We have found our voice and not be ashamed to say what's wrong with them. They'll hate us, definitely. Hindi ba? Okay lang yan. Ganun naman mama ko pasaway. No? She calls herself, she wrote a book, some of you are lucky here, which will be soon online as an SKU, entitled I Am What I Am, Politically Incorrect. No? So this is her book. She wrote another book. I don't know, are we going to give away books today? No? A small, konti lang. 5 pieces lang. No? Kaya bibigyan mo natin. This book is about her speeches during her career, or all talking about fair trade. And the title of the book is Find Your Voice. No? Find your voice. All of us Filipinos here should find our voice. Fight against the system that is wrong. Fight the system we know is wrong. Right? Huwag tayo matakot. No? Oh, kung hindi niyo kaya, doon ka na lang sa kabila. Di ba? No? Again, sabi ko, there is no crossroad. No? I don't mind, you can be in 10 multi-level marketing company as long as the 10 marketing company will not put shame to Brown and Brown. Right? Kung talagang naniniwala ka, itong kumpanya sobrang ganda, be in it. But if there's something there that you are doing that will affect the Brown and Proud movement, I think we have to do something. Like I said, it's not a brand, it's a commitment. It's a commitment by every single brand mover, brown mover to make everything we do proud. So, I think that is about what I want to tell you. That will continuously be our message out there. Change. You don't have to talk about Complan. If you start with Complan, they will leave you because I learned from Gene, my good friend, right? If it's about the Complan lang, iwanan ka dahil tomorrow there will be someone with a better Complan. No? And the bigger the Complan, the more you have to worry. It's almost like the scams that are happening wherein they promise you 20% interest per month, you know. You are guaranteed they're going to run away with your money. No? Don't be greedy. Just live within your means. There's no hiding in Brown and Proud. You'll not see my father and my mother can buy anything they want. They're still coming in a small Kia Pride or Geely because they are secured as who they are. No? Hindi mo kailangan pakita mayaman ka. No? Kaya mali yung tinuturo sa inyo. Right? Na kailangan yung may kotse kayong Ferrari, utang naman, hindi ba? Pag hindi mo lahat, hindi ba? So, mas nakakahiya pag pumunta yung bangko at re-ring na tayo. Hindi ba? Pero sila may laging date na, ayaw ko yun, kaya pinakuha ko na yun. Hindi ba? Galing nila, sabi ko, pag nagbebenta sila ng fruit na tayo, hindi ka pumuti, sasabihin niya, lumalabas ka pa kaya hindi ka Hindi ba, by the way, pero yung gluta tayo is not only for your face, it's good for your liver. Galing. Sinumali. Right? They're watching me live. Right? As today onward, they will hate me like that. But who cares, right? My mom said, now I know why your name is David. Because you always want to face the evil giants, right? And let's be the David in this industry, and let's change everything. So again, thank you very much for everything. Maybe I will give you a bit of surprise. Maybe since my mom and dad are here, my mom can say a few words to all of you, right? Because all of these are inspiration and thanking the blessings for what we have today. So, Ma, can you join us up here? By the way, my mom's 90, my dad's 93. My dad's still building a glass factory that is the biggest in the factory, building the first Filipino community in Shenzhen called the Solid City, right? So, 93 years old. So, nakakaya tayo pag hindi tayo kasing-sipag nilang dalawa. Diba? If we're not even half as busy as them, come on. We're not going anywhere. So, Ma, this is yours.
Thank you, Lenny. You just digest what David said. There's nothing more to be added to that. So, if any, maybe I live in a time different than your time. I live in a time when there was a discrimination against anything that is not American, Japanese, world-class goods. Anything less than them, like Filipino, even Chinese, belong to second class, third class. That was how people were brainwashed to believe that a world class are just one or two countries. We are world class. Especially for Filipinos, your heart is world class. Every Filipino has a sympathetic heart, a forgiving heart. You cannot find that in a Japanese art. Kurak, kurak, kurak. Makapabilisan. True, I've seen the world. Our Filipino heart is sympathetic, kind, and benign. Hindi pasaway, hindi maaway, we're really a very kind people. That's a gift from God to us. Let's keep it that way. And I haven't been interviewed again and again, not by Filipino reporters, but by the British Broadcasting Company, BBC, by the American Broadcasting Company, and even in Britain, in US, and even in the Japanese Broadcasting Company. They have interviewed me again and again, and my emphasis was always to tell this audience that my country, the Philippines, may be poor, may be small, but rich in talent, rich in kindness, sympathetic, and very peaceful people. That's the message I always give. We're not paaway, nor pasaway. We're a peaceful, kind, sympathetic, intelligent people. You believe so? Yes. Pass that message. You pass that to 10 persons in your lifetime, you have helped contribute to your country's image, the right image. That is what I would like to say, more of the soft spot. So David said a mouthful. In my time, I was the pasaway girl. Many oligarchs hated me. They said, alam mo, Elena, may pagka-prostitute ka. What? May pagka-prostitute ka. Bakit? You do not settle with one man, one brand. You
you jump from this to that? Is that not prostitution? Sabi ko, my goodness, you compare products to the human heart? Are you crazy? Sabi ko, but if it is talking about prostitution, if it will be good for my country, for my people, I don't mind being a prostitute. And I felt it. Because nainggit lang sila. Di ba? Nainggit sila. Naisahan natin sila eh. So, more power to you.
Thank you.
Yes, magandang buhay po sa lahat po ng tagapakinig sa programang Buhay OFW ngayon, Siyensya, Teknolohiya at iba pa. Ngayon po ay kasama po natin si Ma'am si Atty. Elena. Siya po yung talagang inspirasyon po para sa ating mga kababayan. Napakaganda po kanina nung kanyang pinaliwanag na talagang pong inspirasyon po siya sa ating mga kababayan. Ma'am, mati muna po kayo sa ating po mga tagapakinig.
Happy day, holiday sa mga Filipino workers ko.
Opo. Ma'am, yung pong mensahe niyo po sa kanila, part tungkol po sa inyong pong success, ano po yung mga dapat gawin, kahit sa maikli lang po natin.
Alam mo, kayo po na nasa abroad, you have the best opportunity and chance to showcase the beautiful character of Filipinos. Kasi nakikita kayo mismo araw-araw ng mga kapwang empleyado ninyo, what you represent as a Filipino and what you stand for the country. So I wish that other people like you deserve really all the support and gratitude of the country because you're doing a great service. God inspires you to make the world see the Filipino, beautiful things about the Filipino through you. Keep it up.
Yes, at syempre po, ma'am, huwag natin kalimutan, nanonood rin po ang ating mga sundalo. Ma'am, may mensahe po kayo sa kanila.
Ako, yung mga kasandaluhan, kayo po ay number one, nasa front line, na itinayaw niyo ang buhay ninyo para sa peace ng bayan natin at peace ng ating mga kapwang Pilipino. Kahit na unti lang ang sweldo ninyo, lahat ng sakripisyo pinakarga ninyo, ay nalalaman namin yan at malaking pagpapasalamat namin sa inyo. God bless all our Filipino soldiers.
Okay, maraming salamat, ma'am. At syempre, ito po yung book ni ma'am. Oh, yan. Ma'am, ito po ba yung mabibili sa market?
Wala po, ginawa ko lang yan as an inspiration ng pag-share ng buhay ko. Yes, sa mga kabataan, sa mga mapapasa, kung anong dinaknan ko, ay maliit lamang na contribution ko.
Ayun, so napakapalad po namin at nagkaroon po kami ng kopya at syempre pipirmahan po po ni ma'am. Maraming salamat po, ma'am. Talagang po, so proud po na makasama po kayo. Lalo na po sa aming programa sa Armed Forces